Today is May 27th, and this is COVID-19 Local Impact Ottawa Valley. I'm Trevor Riley. Let's take a look at the COVID-19 situation. As of May 27th, we have 20 confirmed cases, 15 resolved cases, and still only one death. Total tests in the county have grown to 3,100, and negative tests are now at 2,947, with 133 tests still to be processed. The Renfrew County Health Unit breaks down the results, and they're available at rcdhu.com. And I would like to remind you that these results are for May 27th. The 20 cases break down like this. Arnprior and area have 7, Barry's Bay has 1, Deep River 1, Petawawa also at 1, Pembroke and area are at 3, and Renfrew and area are at 7. Now the County of Renfrew has announced that if you have the symptoms of COVID-19, that you can reach them and see their number of testing facilities that are going to be set up, or testing areas, I should say, in the different communities around the Ottawa Valley. We have the list for you up on the screen. Make sure to check out the Renfrew County Paramedics Facebook page for all the details, and also the County of Renfrew. For more information, you can call the VTAC line to pre-register for a test at one of these locations. The number is at the bottom of your screen. For the breakdown of the cases, we have 2 cases that are in a long-term care home, 8 community cases, and 10 are healthcare workers. 4 are in self-isolation. In the province of Ontario, the number of new daily cases increased by 292 new cases from the last report, a 1.1% increase, bringing that up to 26,483. 2,155 deaths have been reported, and total tests have increased by over 15,000 from yesterday's report, now reaching over 644,000 tests. Those are the current numbers for the 10:30 a.m. update on May 27th. Today, we are going to hear from the owner of the Pembroke Boxing Club about the impact of COVID-19 and the struggles of trying to do more online and starting to reopen as the restrictions are loosened.
Now, although it's professional, and professional falls under different rules and regulations and organizing bodies than we do, they still answer to governmental authority. So I don't know how they did their shows. I know that they're doing it without spectators, but I don't know how they're conforming to the state laws under emergency powers to do this. Nonetheless, it's not possible for us. Boxing Ontario and Boxing Canada have suspended all events until further notice, which of course just falls in line with what Premier Doug Ford has done. He has said no events for congregations of more than, I think, 50. And you're certainly not going to have much of a show with fewer than 50 people there. So until they come out and say that these events are good again, and then that trickles down to the Ontario ruling organizations, we're doing nothing. I suspect that what will happen is that we will start training first.
Yep.
The government will say, you can open up again. Our ruling bodies don't have a whole lot to say about that. We can train as soon as the government says we can train. So we don't have to wait from Boxing Canada or Boxing Ontario to open up again. We will have to open up. We will have to pay attention to when the government says you can open up, and we can't compete, of course, until both the organizations and Ontario both say that competitions are now open. It's funny. Before this had started, we had actually considered doing online coaching. So exactly that, where we'll give somebody a lesson online, they can watch it, and then they reproduce it and send me a video back that I can critique, or watch them live in Zoom or something like that. But that's been something that I've been thinking about a lot. One of the things that we've been doing to stay sharp, I say we, that's my son and I, because he's my junior coach and best boxer actually. One of the things we've been doing to stay sharp is participating on Reddit, which might seem strange. There's a subreddit for amateur boxing, and it's very commonly people putting in they'll submit their sparring, or they'll submit their bag work, or their shadow boxing, and they're looking for critique. Well, for the most part, it's other amateur boxers. So I think I'm the only coach on the forum. So I get a lot of questions, and I get a lot of. I've been making tutorial videos for Reddit users. I've been posting them online as well, but they're primarily for these Reddit users who have questions. But it keeps your coaching skills up. It keeps your eyes sharp.
Coming up after the break, we are going to hear from the Pembroke Farmers Market, who just recently reopened and had vendors on site for the community to come and visit and shop local. More after the break.
On the fly, we got directives from the health unit, and I think it was about a total of 2 weeks. 2 weeks that we got everything up and running. We just hammered down and tried to get everything sorted out, and worked on a few different options as far as trying.
Welcome back. The Pembroke Farmers Market has now reopened, but under new rules. In the COVID-19 world, the restrictions are beginning to ease, allowing for more things like this to happen. But it doesn't come without heavy restrictions on site. I got a chance to speak with Christine Tomka and President of the Farmers Market, Nora Johnson, about the changes you might see when visiting the 2020 edition of the Farmers Market.
So a lot of things have changed at the market. We're lucky to be working in tandem with our Renfrew County Health Unit. They gave us a lot of directives. First thing you'll notice is a smaller amount of vendors, because we have to be 6 feet apart from one another and 6 feet apart from the customers. So at max capacity, we have 12 vendors on a given day. And our hours have changed. We're now 9 to 12 on Wednesday and Saturday. And you'll also notice quite a few differences as far as traffic flow, spacing, hand sanitizing stations, those types of things.
Also, we're limited as in the type of vendors. There's no crafters. It can only be farmers, producers, bakers, that type of a vendor.
We were doing it really on the fly. We got directives from the health unit, and I think it was about a total of 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks that we got everything up and running. We just hammered down and tried to get everything sorted out, and worked on a few different options as far as trying to get the word out to the customers. That being the new Facebook page, that's the Pembroke Farmers Market 2020 edition. So you can go to that page and see what the changes are, what our hours are, and what our vendors will be each day, because we're a slow trickle getting it up to speed. Produce has obviously been a little bit delayed this year because of the cooler weather. So little by little, but a mighty wee force we are.
Absolutely. The driving force when we started was Danny Sheedy, which worked with the health department, and he had to lay out, this is what it's going to look like, and put forth a plan before they actually said, yes, you can open. So thanks to Danny that he actually got it rolling, and then we all started to jump on board and said, yes, let's do it.
Well, one thing I've noticed is just getting people used to the changes, the different hours. I think they're expecting it to be the way it used to be. And although a lot of people are tracking changes in the world with, going to a grocery store isn't as it used to be, we're just having to get them to know what's going to be happening. We are kind of working on the fly, and they seem to be receptive. The customers have been great. They seem to be receptive to it. So typically what we're doing as the customers enter and they park, they now have to come to the entrance. There's a hand sanitizing station there. At that point, we have some volunteers that'll be helping them through to make sure that they're 6 feet apart. So we're not going to be ending up with clumps of people. A big change is that our market used to be a real social time for everyone. So unfortunately now we're at a situation where you come in, we're really happy to see you, but it's basically purchases, a small chit chat, and then carry on. Socializing, we unfortunately have to kind of put the clamp on. So that's where we're at today. But so far we've had pretty great customer feedback.
They're just happy that we're here, that we're able to have the vendors. And I think people are doing really well with this. But I think when you get outside, as opposed to being in a building. Outside it just seems to be more freer, so we're having to, remind people a bit.
We're definitely adding our links to the old Facebook page, the group, so people that are following the original group will be notified that there's also the new group, the new page that they can follow. Just basically every week, every Wednesday, every Saturday, we make sure that the current information is put up. I've tried to do that on Tuesdays and Fridays. Which vendors are going to be available, reminding everybody about the hours, reminding everybody about the new COVID restrictions. Preferably, we would like people to be placing orders and sending e-transfers to just come and pick up. We will accept cash if that's the only, way that they have to spend. That's fine, but right now we are really trying to encourage people to do the pre-orders. That's what we'd like to see.
Right now we're getting an incredible amount of interest from people. I think they're really happy to support us, which is really great. They've always been good for us. We're also getting interest for new vendors, which we can't take. Maybe things are going to change as the summer goes on. So we may be able to add more vendors. We were thinking possibly underneath where the canteen and Jim's meat market was. Might be able to put one more or two more in there. Possibly if the vendor has a tent, we might be able to set them up. But yeah, the produce is coming, people. It's been a cool spring, but it's coming.
Remember to catch up with us at yourtv.tv for all our COVID-19 coverage and full-length interviews. I'm Trevor Riley. See you tomorrow.